Hey, so I wanted to give you some quick tips on how to get started with your flexible eating lifestyle. So my very first and most favorite tip is to condense your eating window. If you're not already intermittent fasting, think about just stop eating at least 3 hours before bedtime, which is ideal, and then try not to eat at least 12 hours later. So if you're eating till 7 at night, try not to have breakfast until 7 a.m. in the morning. And if you're already doing that, think about pushing that later. So maybe eat a little earlier or push breakfast a little later. And if you can get to 14 hours, that's ideal. So you can sort of start making some other changes in the meantime. So condense that eating window and then swap one meal. So think about one meal that you feel like you could sort of like totally do something different with and get more nutrition in that meal. For me, for clients, I tend to recommend breakfast. That's an easy one. So a lot of times people will go to bagels and carbs and things that aren't so nutritious. And it's easy to just start doing a shake or a smoothie, something that you throw lots of nutrients into, will give you lots of energy. You can put good fats in, which will satiate you and just help you kind of maintain, not get cravings, not get those hunger pains, and just go for the not so great choices like later in the afternoon, early afternoon before lunch. The other thing is pick one sugar habit that you have, whether it's the crack, I call it crack coffee, like the Starbucks with the whipped cream and all the stuff on it. If you can make some changes there, maybe do honey, or maybe figure out what kind of swaps you can do there. If it's, ice cream at night, maybe you could do like the frozen bananas in the Cuisinart, and that makes sort of a banana ice cream. Whatever that sugar habit might be. If it's diet soda, get rid of that. I know that's hard. I know it's easier said than done, but just start figuring out, go to the small, cut back the number that you have a day, and then swap it out for some other caffeine source if that's really where you're getting, why you're really enjoying that. And then pay attention to how you feel. So if you're just kind of going through the day and then weeks have gone by, months have gone by, and you've put on weight, or you just don't feel like yourself, you don't have the energy that you want to have, start making these changes and then really pay attention to how you feel. I love for people to log food and then log sort of how they feel, but sometimes that can be sort of over, what's the word? It can just kind of make you crazy around food, kind of hyper focus. So if it does that to you, don't do it. But for some people, it's like, oh wow, look at where all the sugar, or look at where all the bad choices were coming into my day that I didn't even realize until I started, paying attention and logging it. And then the last thing is just move more. And I know that sounds, again, easier said than done, but hopefully the weather's changing where you are, and you can, if you have a fitness tracker, you can get all your steps in during the day. If it's, intentionally going somewhere and walking on a treadmill, do that. Walk. You don't have to do high intensity. So if you're transitioning to try to create your own sort of flexible eating lifestyle, I would highly recommend just start with those little changes.